Hi everybody, this is Stephanie. Thanks for tuning in. I wanted to give an update on the projects that I created for January. So I have the main goal and main focus for 2024 to dig into my stash and to grab out as many collection kits each month and to try and use them up, try and kill a collection or kill a kit. So for the month of January, I did grab out, I think, like 4 collections. One of them was a snow themed, and since we didn't do the snow trip that we had in mind for January, I decided just to pull it out and save it for a different time. And then the other collection, it is another Echo Park collection, and it's kind of like everyday life, project life themed. So I went ahead and cut all those cut aparts, and I'm going to be using that throughout the year to document project life. So that one I'm not going to really share until the end of the video as I place them into the page protectors in the pocket pages, and you'll see each month of documented. The other collection is this Valentine's Day one here. It says Hello Valentine, and this was the oldest one in my stash, so I really wanted to use this before I dig into the other ones that have just recently made it into my pile. And then the last collection here, it is the Sweet Baby Boy by Echo Park, and this is the collection that I had got from Tuesday Morning when it was still open, and there was a lot of stuff in here, a lot of pattern paper, cardstock. What was left from after doing a baby album for my sister, there was like 4 pattern papers and 3 sheets of cardstock, and the cardstocks were double-sided, and so it was just really nice that I was still able to create quite a bit. It gave me an idea. However, to complete that idea, I did pull in this Bundle of Joy 6x6 paper pad, and it does have the same, I feel like it matches, it kind of coordinates, so I was happy with it. So let me go ahead and share all the layouts that I created for January. I'm going to start off with the baby layout. So as you can see, I don't have any photos on here. I did not have the time to go into my hard drive and to dig up all the photos. My son is now 5. He just turned 5 and he's going to start kindergarten. So that was where the pressure was coming from. I really wanted to get his first year album done before he starts school, because then I'm gonna have to move on to his school album. Sorry if the focus is not 100%. But so my idea was that I was gonna pull in that pattern paper, the 6x6 paper pad, and I used that paper pad to make this long horizontal strip so that way it can hold my cut aparts. Within this collection, there was a 12x12 cut apart, and it had all the way up until a year. So that already gave me that idea to have 12 different layouts documenting each month of the child. So the first month, this is what I created, and I thought I can place like a few 3x4 photos of my favorite photos for the first month. I can totally do a grid of a ton of different photos, or I can just do, like I said, maybe just a few photos, and then maybe do a 12x12 layout here on the side of my favorite photos. So those are my options. I'm not 100% sure, but I do have a nice space. So if I want to add more, I do still have quite a bit here in the collection of the stickers, but I really love the way this turned out using the die cuts here on top along with that rectangle strip. So this is Formula 1, or the sketch for the first one, and then the second sketch is this one right here, and this is using the pattern papers from the collection along with the cut aparts and the die cuts. So this is how it's going to be throughout the entire 12 months. It's going to alternate between this one, the style, or this one. And I really love the way that turned out. And again, I can place a few photos here, a few 2x2s, 2x3s, and then next to it add an additional layout of either my favorite photo or additional photos that coordinate with the month should I need to. So that's month 2. Here's month 3. And my camera is just not wanting to focus. There we go. Sorry about that. So some of them I placed additional cut aparts and 3x4s here at the bottom. I did want to mention, noticing one thing regarding this collection was that even though it said all the way to a year, the stickers and the die cuts didn't grow with the months, meaning it didn't really highlight milestones for me. So like by the time he's 4 months, he's learning how to row over, and it didn't really like kind of like reflect like, oh, from newborn to like fresh from heaven to things like learning and growing and eating and crawling and things like that. So some of the die cuts and the embellishments get a little empty as we progress to the months ahead. So I am going to consider, when I do print out the photos that I need, I will dig into my stash, into other baby collections or boy collections, and to help finish off each of these layouts. But I couldn't do that now without the photos, so this is where I've gotten so far. But I really love that I had thought of this and just kind of went to town with the idea, so that way I was able to create with no pressure, but at the same time I got so many layouts done. All right, you guys, I want you to see if you can notice something. Yeah, I totally cut these 3x4s in half. What happened was going into the collection here, as you can see, I have this strip right here. This is the cover to the collection, and I had thought, oh, this would be great to use as a piece of pattern paper along with another piece of cardstock, and I can make one more layout, right? Then I cut it, and then I was like, well, I'm having trouble hiding this right here because I don't want to place just a random thing on this section. Never mind, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to just leave it be. And then I was like, wait, what's on the back? And I flip it over, and there were more cut aparts, more 3x4s, and I was so bummed because I really like this one right here, along with another pattern paper of these a mama elephant and a baby elephant, and so I was so bummed. So don't do what I do. Here's month 11 along with some more of the cut aparts. They're very simplistic, and they will get decorated more along the way. As you can see here, his first year last layout is not really decorated, but I will again pull in some of the collections when I come to printing out the photos and further decorate. But I still count this as a win, since I dug into my stash and I did not just create one layout or even 3, but 12 different layouts, you guys. I am stoked on that, and I'm so happy with how that turned out. Alrighty, the next collection that I really digged into for January was this Hello Valentine's collection. I thought I would do, again, just a few layouts and then make a mini album, but once I got started on making all the layouts, I just kept on going, and I think I made a total of 10. So let's start off with the first one that I created. It's actually the most simplistic, and the reason why is because I just went ahead and grabbed one of the busier pattern papers, and I matted with this other pattern paper here, and then I grabbed 3 of the 2x2s. I did pop them up, and what I plan to use this layout for is, last year we tried to do a date night out and a date night in throughout the year, and I'm going to go ahead and do a bunch of 2x2 squares along this layout and then some journaling here. So that's my main plan for this one, and again, I'm going to take the time to print these photos out at a later date. Alright, the next layout that I created was a bunch of layering. I thought of kind of like a file folder setup or something here. I really loved how I matted most of these busier pattern papers with the cardstock, and then I placed a mat here of a 4x6. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to stay, or am I just going to place the photo. I may do a big title here or a big title here, and then I can easily place some journaling along the way too. But I really love the way this one turned out as well. And if you can notice, this is actually that busy pattern paper that was from the previous layout. I did gut out most of these here too, so that way I was able to use this collection up. The next collection here, or the next layout here, is a bit busier. It was supposed to be more of a grungy mixed media style. However, I have my paints packed away in the garage, so I went ahead and did a bit of faux. So sorry about the 1 second. I don't know which one's better, you guys. Let me know. feel like it's not giving it the quality that I want. Okay, so this one is a bit of a more mixed media. I may be adding in some more paint. So this is actually not paint, it's just ink with some stamps. So, and I did this kind of horizontal formation, so I went ahead and grabbed out the die cuts to kind of do that same diagonal along the page. Did some paper tearing. This I got to add in some black inks that I originally had this sticker on this side, but since I went ahead and did the stamping, I felt like it made more sense to go in that direction. So I really like the way that looked though. Alright, moving on to the next layout here. It is another Bezier pattern paper that I went ahead and used a belly band with a border punch on either side, and a piece of this beautiful pale pink cardstock, and some of the 4x4 pattern papers cut aparts, and I did trim them smaller so that way we can have a nice border of the pink. And then I have this 3x4 here to have my journaling, and then a matte type of 4x6. I can also do two 3x4s or some different size in photos, but I love the way that turned out. Alright, moving on to the next layout. They're not all that decorated with a lot of embellishments for two reasons. Since I don't have the photo, I'm not 100% sure on which die cuts that I want to use. And another reason as well is most of the die cuts were very heavily themed towards Valentine's Day, so it was kind of hard. Sometimes I wasn't really in the mood to document. They may not be Valentine's Day themed. So it is lovey-dovey, but I didn't want it to be all the die cuts to all say Valentine's Day, if that makes sense. So just like I had an issue with the baby collection being all baby and not grow or milestones, this is the same kind of scenario when most of the die cuts had something to do with Valentine's Day and not just like generic enough for love. So I did struggle on that. So this is another layout that I created. This is also with the cardstock here. This is a nice wood grain, and I did not really care about this pattern paper right here. It's on the Bezier side. So what I decided to do was just to cut up the pattern papers into 6x6 and kind of do a bit of mirroring on either side at a diagonal, and then have two 3x4s or possibly one 4x6. And again, I will further decorate when I have the photos printed, but I do like having these spaces completed. And this is also something that I considered that I'm going to be picking and choosing also some photos from my family members and giving these out. So alright, we have another layout here using this beautiful envelope pattern paper, and it was actually a really short paper. I just went ahead and cut it and then stretched it here, so that way it has that illusion that it is going through most of the layout. Then I had this cardstock to help separate the two pattern papers. Here I have the it's not typewriter, but like the typewriter font with all the Valentine's Day themed words. And I had a piece of this striped paper left, and then I just placed it 3x4, and then I could do the journaling here or do the title. Alright, you guys, so now I am coming down to the wire with the collection. So I went ahead and added just some strips here, including the little piece of some paper tearing. I really love the way that looks. Then I added two 3x4s, and I wasn't 100% sure which pattern paper or which 4x6 that I wanted to go right here, kind of like the title or a smaller title here. So this is what I decided so far. But this one's on the simplistic side, and I really love the way that looks. Alright, you guys, I have another layout. I originally had in mind to do a bunch of 2x2 squares, and I was going to just kind of do it like an arrow and then have a photo here. But when I realized I can turn it over, it looked like a heart, and I could not pass that up. So I could possibly place some 2x2 photos right here, or maybe place another photo here, and this can be a title or subtitle. And I had this great tip of when the patterns are too busy for me, I could just use them as a border, a mat, and then place some more solid pattern paper here. And I really love the way this turned out, and I'm definitely going to be pulling that in more often with each of the collections. Alright, this is the last one. I feel like the most incomplete since I just had all the branding straps left, and I thought, oh, I can go to town with my sewing machine and do some stitching and adhere them onto this wood grain. And I'm gonna probably add in some stamping and possibly some more fabric and just do a bunch of different strips and then add in my photo and probably do some mixed media around. But I really love the way this turned out. I'm definitely going to probably be kind of curling them up so that way they don't have such a uniform look. But there you have it, you guys. Those were my layouts that I completed for the month of January. And throughout the year, as I print out the photos, I'll probably do maybe a 6-month checkup and sometime in June, share all the layouts that I've completed so far with the photos if I can, of course. If they're for a family member, then I'll probably give it to them, and I'm probably not going to be able to share those. However, I do plan to get the pictures placed on them, and I'm just having so much fun creating. I did not think I was going to be able to create the 12 with the baby album and then the 10 from this collection. So that was a win for January. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe to see more videos like these. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.